Hey everybody, how are you today? I think for today I want to work on these wheels. Um, I'd like to work on the tire and the wheel. I think this hubcap here is what I want to use, or this wheel. This seems to be an original, I'm not sure, with just the small amount of Googling I've done so far. If I go over here to the side view, you can see it's kind of the same thing. I think I'm on to something here. So I'm going to go with this. So let's start working. I'm just going to put the cursor right in the center there, and I'm going to create a cylinder. Oh, pop it in right there. It's got 32 sides. Uh, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with that for now. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees around the y-axis. I don't need a cap fill, so I'll turn that off. So RY90. And then let's scale this in the X. Something like that. I'll move it out some too. Let me look at the front here. Remember, my tires are a bit off here on the front and the back, but that's okay. And kind of go like this. And here I will scale this out. I want to scale this out in the Z and the Y. I've already scaled it in the X. Now I want to scale it in the Z and the Y. And to do that, I'm going to press the S key and then Shift X. And now that will turn off the X axis while I scale it. All right, there we go. Now I want to grab these edges here. And I think what I want to do is bevel these. Well, first of all, let's extrude them. Let's extrude them in. So I'll hit E. And now I want to scale in once again with the Y and the Z. So S, Shift X, and scale these in. Let me see where I am here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to bevel these just a little bit. So to bevel these, I really need to apply my transform. So I'm going to come in here. And you know what? While I'm here, I'll turn on the screencast keys. Why not? I want to come up to the top. And you see how the rotation and the scale have values in them other than zeros and ones. I'm going to hit Control A and hit rotation and scale. And now if I bevel it with Control B, hold the Shift key down, I can kind of bevel that. Let me add a segment here. There we go. That kind of rounds it out so we get kind of a tire effect. All right, let me grab these edges again. And I think I want to pull them back out just a little bit. Scale, Shift X, pull these out. And I want to extrude them and bring them in just a bit. So extrude, scale, Shift X, bring them in. And then I want to scale them in the X now. Bring them in just a hair like that. There we go. Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to get that rounded part of the tire here. I don't know if I've come in quite enough here. Let's try that. And maybe nope, that one and this one. Let me scale these in just a hair. Yeah, okay. So we've got that rounded part of the tire there. Now let's think about the rim here. I'm going to go ahead and select these edges right here, and then press Shift S and cursor to selected to get that cursor in the center. Now I'm going to create another cylinder, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stick with 32. I know that's kind of high poly, but I want these to be nice and smooth. So yeah, I'll go with it. RY90. Let's scale this in. Now, I don't know. Let me think about this. I think I want something like, I don't know that I need everything in there. I don't know that I need a cylinder here. Yeah, actually, why don't I do this? This will work. Let me scale this in. And, you know, there were thunderstorms here yesterday. It's a nice clear day today, but I've got road construction outside. So if you hear trucks and things like that, that's what it is. There's always something going on. I'm going to move this in just a hair, and I want to make a little lip on the edge of that rim right there. Extrude, scale out. I say scale out. There we go. Pull that out just a bit. And then I'm going to extrude this in just a hair like this. There we go. So that's the rim. Now, notice that the color of this is a little bit different than the others, and that's because I've got the normals turned inside out. I can always hit the A key and press Control in and flip the normals there. So now the normals are facing the proper way. All right. So now it looks like that first part goes in. It almost looks like there's an extra ridge here that they don't show here. I kind of want that. I kind of like that. So let me scale in just a hair, move this in. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I'm getting a little bit of overage there. That's okay. I'll fix that here in a minute. No, I gotta fix it now because it'll drive me crazy. It'll drive me nuts. Okay. Scale it in just a hair. No. Scale it in without the X. No. Let me just do this one here. There we go. Okay. Back to the rim. And I've brought this in to there. It almost looks like there's an extrusion or something going on there. Hit E and bring that in just a bit like that. Yeah, okay. And then let's do another one. Extrude and scale that in just a bit. And I'll pull that back in. There we go. And now, I think I'm to that part. Well, not yet. I got one more to do, don't I? So let me extrude that and scale that in. Okay, now I've got this piece right here. This is an interesting piece. What to do with this? It almost looks like I could create a cylinder here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. If I created a 10-sided cylinder and popped it in there and then extruded out 5 of the sides, would that work? And then I want to connect it up here. Would that work? Well, let's give it a try. All right, I'm going to tab back into object mode. Here is the rim so far. I am going to create a cylinder, rotate it around the Y. I'm going to scale it down Oh, I forgot to change the number of sides. Let me do that again. Shift A, mesh cylinder. Let's give this, what did I say, 10 sides? And I'm going to go ahead and put a triangle fan here as well. And then RY90. Scale that down. Now, let's see if this will work. If I get it right in there, I could extrude these pieces out right there. So let me see. Let me see. I don't need it that thick. Bring that out like that. And it seems to come out a bit. So let me look at it from the front. Yeah, so it wants to come out here, I think. Like that. And then back. Okay. Now, what do we have here? We've got these faces right here that we should be able to extrude out. Right? Let's try this. I'm going to hit S. I'm going to hit extrude, and then I'm going to need to, let me undo this. I'm going to need to use this little guy over here. Extrude individual faces. And then as I pull it out, there we go, that's what we want. Bring that out to here. Now, does it look like they change or get a little thinner on the way out? Maybe. Maybe a little. So instead of using the median point, let me change to individual origins and scale, and now they'll all scale individually. All right. There we go. Now, let's take them back. We need to move them back now, like this. All right. And then I need that cylinder there. Now I could just continue to extrude here and make it all one piece. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. So let me grab the rim again. And here, I kind of like that edge that it has there. So I think what I'll do is, let me go back to perspective mode. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll pull that back. I'll extrude back just a little bit, and I know you're going to scream, whoa, too many polys. I get it. I'll deal with that later. Don't let it get in the way of your creative process. Okay. There we go. Now, extrude. I want to scale this in. And then I want to pull these back, maybe. Yeah, like that. There we go. Like that. And then grab that edge and extrude back. All right. Yeah. Okay. So that is, I think, the kind of thing we want. So I'm going to need to probably deal with inserting some edge loops to hold those edges a bit. Let me smooth the tire. Really? Let me smooth the tire here. There we go. All right, let me smooth this as well just to see what happens. Yikes. Okay. I don't like that. There we go. A little better. Yeah. Okay. Let me work on this piece right in here. That. So let me grab these. I'm hitting the C key for circle select. And I'm just going to extrude in, extrude and then scale in. extrude and push in. There we go. Something like that. Now, these other pieces. What in the world are those? I mean, I know that's the brakes behind there, right? But these pieces, I don't know that I've done myself any favors now by waiting to deal with these until now. So what I can do, in fact, it looks like this may be a little bit too far out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and isolate it with Shift H so I see only that. I'll select all the faces. Oh, and I don't like all of this, what I've done. What in the world did I do there? Why did you let me do that? Okay, let me get rid of these things. I'll have to go through and get rid of these things. Those are ugly. Man, what did I do? So what I'm probably going to have to do then is just select these up here like this and this. I'm hitting the B key. And get rid of all of these. There we go. That's better. All right. Now, what I wanted to do, the reason why I did this is because I want to pull this back. I think this is pushed out a little bit too much. So I will go to vertex mode, select everything, and then I want to deselect these up here. So let's see if I can press B and Shift and get rid of these. Right? Now I can pull that back just a hair. There we go. Alt H to bring everything back. Okay, so how am I going to deal with these things? What are these things, and how am I going to deal with that? I know I've got these little cylinders here. Oh, you know what I could do? Yeah. I could create another cylinder, and this could be a cylinder, and then I could cut these out. So let's say if I created a cylinder with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's try 15 sides. Yeah, let me try that real quick. I am really flying without a net here today. But that's what makes it fun. At least I think so. All right. I'm going to press Shift H, and I'm going to get rid of all of these things down here. Don't need all that. And let me scale this down. Yeah, I think that'll work. So RY90. And let's bring everything back. Scale it down. Let's try this. I may have to turn it a bit. Let me rotate it a hair. Okay, all right, this might work. I can't do that. Okay, so what I need to do is okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these, extrude, I'm going to scale in a bit, do it again. There we go. now that we've got those can become, yeah, Alt-H. Those can now become these pieces in here. Like this. Like that. Yes, okay, so we've got some of those. And then I want to get a little bit more in here, so let me extrude and scale in again. And extrude and push back like that. And there we go. All right. Now, so now I need to put something right behind there that will give us that silver back in there. Yeah, so one more cylinder back there. Cylinder RY90. Scale it down and get it back in there. So we are not going to see the underside of the car, I can guarantee you that. So I'm not going to worry about it. Get these in there. And we don't need these. This car is going to be like in an alley. We're going to see it from above as people look down on it. With an arms deal going on. I know, sounds weird, huh? Okay. So we've got something that resembles a wheel there. Yeah, I think that might just work, at least for now. I think I'm going to go with that. All right. Let's try and get it placed in all the other wheel wells here, and then we'll take a look at it and see how it looks. So I'm going to need to select all these items in here. Anything else in there? And I'm going to go ahead and join these together with Control J. Now I can go to my top view maybe. No, I can't really see the tires from there now, can I? We'll have to do it from this side. And duplicate Y, move it over. All right. I'll select these two. I could mirror these. I could duplicate and spin them around. Why don't I do that? I'll just press Shift D, Enter. And let's go to the front view. And I'll just move these over here. Like so. And then I just need to rotate them around. Let's try that. Z 180, right? 180. Let's try that. There they are. Okay. Let me make sure they're in the right place up front. No, they're not yet. There we go. Move these to here. All right. Ooh, look at that. Okay. We got some wheels and tires here. There may be more detail. Oh, I need to put these little guys in there, don't I? Yeah, dang it. Let me do that. So really all I need is, let me bring the cursor back to the selected here. All I need is just a little cylinder. I don't need a whole lot there. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6-sided bolt. Easy, I can do that. Cylinder 6. There we go. RY90. Oops, try that again. There we go. And once again, I don't need the back of this. There you go. Scale it. And let's try and put it in place here. There we go. Move it into here. Oh, I'll put it right in here. It looks like mine's a little bit smaller. Yeah, see, this is just a little bit smaller than they have here. That's okay. I'm gonna, yeah. Well, now I need to duplicate this all the way around, don't I? Let me put it in place before I do that. Get it lined up here. Get it right in there. There we go. Okay, now I want to duplicate this all the way around. I could do it a couple of ways, but for me, I think the an easy way would be to change this to the 3D cursor. Go to my rotate tool, duplicate, and then rotate it around like this. And how far am I rotating that? About 70 degrees? Does that look about right? Okay, so how about duplicate R70? Is that going to work? Yeah, why not? R70, duplicate R70. Nice. All right, now a couple of these, I'm going to rotate this just because. Let me put it back to the median point. Just because I don't want them all in the same rotation here. It's like that, something like that. Add some randomness to it. All right. Now I'm going to have to reduplicate all of these. Delete. And let's put these in place now. Duplicate Y. Put that over here. I could do duplicate and move in the X. I could mirror this if I wanted to. A different way to do that, we could go to Object, Mirror, and Mirror in the X. And there you go, and then hit Enter, and that pops that around. And I'll put this in place and then duplicate it over to the other side. And there we go. Okay. Now, good. So now we've got that kind of blocked in. All right. What else should we do? How about that front fender? Let's look at that. See if we can work on that. I'm going to switch my images here from... Oh, that's kind of a nice... Although it's not... Let me go back to this one here. This is going to be an interesting thing. I didn't realize the fender was so kind of jagged like that. That's interesting. All right, that'll be an interesting challenge. Let's see if we can get another view of this. How's this one? Not bad. Okay. So we got that view. We got that view. Okay. Do we have any other good views that might help us with this? Let me switch to a UV image editor. I said switch. There we go. And let's see if we can find anything else. Buick. What about this one? Does that one looks a little bit different angle than we've seen. Although this one, maybe I should go with this one. Let's try that. It has this big swoop under here, and I'm not quite sure what it is. If we go to our... Oh, I see. Okay. It's this thing coming off the bottom of the car. So that really isn't part of the front fender, is it? All right. So let me look at this. Let me think about what is the fender and what isn't the fender. It almost looks like, here it is here, and it drops down to go in front, right there. And I'm not sure what this part is right there. I don't know if this is fully... That may be this right here. So I think we're just going to have to work on it and just see what we can get out of it. This is really an interesting kind of a shape here. This gives us some good information here. All right, well, let's try this. I think we can do this with a cube without too much of a problem. Let's go ahead and try that. So I'm going to begin with a cube and move that out. Once again, I don't need this back face. We're not going to need that. And I want to split it down the middle again because I want to mirror it. So then select these faces and get rid of them. All right. Now, let's start to try and get this to the proper shape. Let me add a mirror and turn on clipping there. All right, so this is going to be interesting. This is why you 3D model for these kinds of things. I like this kind of thing. All right. So, how should we begin? I almost feel like, I almost feel like I want to do edge modeling beginning around the sides here and going forward. But I'm not sure that's going to be real efficient either. Well, let's give it a try. I'm going to grab that face. Okay, so let's move this to here. And this Y. Something like that. Okay. I've got that face. I'm going to bring it back like that. Maybe even rotate it a smidge. And extrude this way to here. See how we're doing. Okay. Now, does it become smaller or does it just go up? I think it actually just goes up. So if I extruded this and just took it up like this, would that do it? And rotate it. this. All right, we're getting there. There's that. Okay. Let's take a look at this side here. The whole thing's a little off here in the side, and I think I want to keep it in line with this. I'm using this side view most of the time here, I think. So let me just grab this. Everything seems to be leaning back like that. So let me grab all of these, just move the whole thing back like that. Something like that. Now, it's going to need to curve around here and then straighten up, right? Everything's leaning like this, and we've kind of got that lean there. Everything's leaning, and then when it curves around, it straightens up right there. So we're going to need to deal with that. I kind of want to turn this, but if I turn it in global mode, it's going to be awkward. Let me see. Yeah, that's going to be awkward. So let's press Alt space and go to local. Oh, that didn't do us much good. How about normal? That does us even less good. Great. Okay. Let me think about that. Well, I could cheat. I'm always up for cheating. So if I inserted an edge loop here, right, and then grabbed that face. Now, I don't think I've brought it out far enough yet. Let's see. Oh, yeah, see, I'm too far out. With this. Let me bring these in just a hair. Yeah, something like that. Okay, back to the fender here. Now what I can do is grab that face here, extrude it back. Let's try that. Extrude, bring it back just a smidge, grab that edge here, and bring it forward, or bring it back like that. Yeah, something like that. Now, as I said, my car is too wide for my fender right now. Let me grab this and bring it in just a bit. All of these kind of need to be brought in. I see. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, now let's take a look at it from the side view. I keep. There we go. So now we've got that bend around. Oh, come on. I keep doing that. There we go. Something like that. So now I've got that bend around here, and I kind of want this to, let's see if this can be beveled just a bit. So it curves around a little bit better. All right. All right. Let's look at this ridge here up top. Now, what is that doing? It is so hard to see what's happening here, but it looks like there are two extrusions. Let me just bring that down a hair. It looks like, well, just one really. There's just this one here for that. That must be a reflection or something there. And that rim there. Let me try and get that rim. Like that. Let's try this. This appears to go all the way to here, like that. Let's try it. I'm going to pull it out straight like that. All right. Kind of want an edge in there anyway, like that. And grab that point, control click that point, and pull it out so it curves just a bit. There we go. All right. Now, these pieces down here, that's going to be this right here. Right? Let's try and figure out where that's going to go. Now, I could just scale that and try and get it correct. That might be a little bit awkward, though, especially since I'm not... Yeah, I think I better insert edge loops for that instead of trying to scale it in. Let's try inserting edge loops here. And maybe we could edge slide these up with Control E and edge slide and bring them up like that. Let's do two. There we go. Let's do two there. I'll bring that over to here. And this one over to there. Now we should have a face that we can extrude back in. Pull that in. And I think we want to flatten it up like we did before. Grab that edge and pull it back. And you go to the side view. Where are we here? There it is. Pull that straight up like that. Let's try that. Yeah, okay. Maybe not that far. How about like that? All right. Getting there. Now, how about the license plate? The license plate almost looks like it's angled as well. You know how it just looks like it's angled here, just an extrusion in, but still angled. Maybe not angled as much. So let's give that a try. I will. What is this? Oh, okay, that's from in the back there. So I want to insert an edge loop right about here. And then let's take these and insert or extrude them back. How do I want to do that? I can push it back. Okay, let me do this. I will extrude. I'll pull it straight back like that. Then I want to grab this edge and I'll pull it all the way back like that. And then I want to grab this edge and these edges, and I want to flatten them in the Y. So let me go over here and I'll just hit S and Y, and let me see if this works. Don't want it fully that way. There we go. And then, no, that did not work. Not working at all. So that, oh, I did something wrong there. Okay. Let me try that again here. So what needs to happen is those need to come back. I can just maybe delete these like that. And then these can go back. Or at least these can go back. Let's do this first. Get that straight. And now let's take these back. There we go. A little bit of trial and error. Never hurt anybody. Alright, so these now are ugly, and I'm going to have to deal with these. So what do I want to do with this? I could just go ahead and merge these points. So grab this and this, Alt-M, at last. Let's merge those together. Alright. So this needs to come back out more. That got moved. There we go. Yeah, okay. So we've got a bumper for the front and for the back, as well as some tires and wheels. I think that's going to be about it for today. I didn't answer many questions. Sorry about that. I got so involved with what I was doing that I didn't even look up. My screen went into sleep mode. Just not even seeing anything here. All right. Let's just see if I have any questions or anything that anybody wants to mention here. Oh, you know what? I had someone had a good comment that I saw yesterday on yesterday's video, and they were commenting that in modeling in Blender, they've heard that it's a very good idea to model at real-world scale. And it's because that lighting and particle effects or whatever uses real-world scale in its calculations. And that is true both in Blender and Unity and Unreal and every one of them. Ray trace lighting uses real-world scale for its calculations. So their question was, why didn't I change all of the reference images when I put them in to be real world size? And my answer is, you don't have to model to scale, you just have to finish to scale. So what I'll be doing is I'm going to do this whole thing, having the reference images keep me in proportion, and then when I'm all done, I'll select everything and scale it all to the proper size. So instead of doing all the work up front, I tend to do it on the back end. And that's another point I want to make. Sometimes we get so concerned about certain technical issues that we forget to just get to work and just begin creating, right? Just sometimes you don't need to know all the tools, and sometimes you don't need to know exactly how everything is going to turn out. just begin. Just begin and you will learn and adapt and hopefully have fun. So, all right. That is it for me for today. Thank you so much for joining me here, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.